talk about how we harness the considerable power in this tiny little bookie that some of us still carry around and have been encouraged to carry around a little bit more recently, and how we harness the power here in order to confront this wicked problem of corruption that we're all facing.
In our report, we make some recommendations. Among others, we propose incremental improvements to both the structure and the organizational culture of law enforcement agencies. We propose that resources are urgently provided for corruption prevention. It's shocking that the only dedicated corruption prevention unit in government responsible for national, provincial and local government is staffed by 9 people. We recommend that government and civil society partner with the private sector in sectoral collective action projects like Lagos Harbour. We suggest that there are legal and policy reforms to incentivize companies to improve their own corruption prevention and detection systems. Let me summarize. Corruption's complex, it's hard to prosecute, and it's a normal part of a country's economic growth. The obvious answers like punishment don't always work so well. We need solutions and innovations that are appropriate to our unique conditions, and we have an opportunity to start now.
What we've identified in the current institutional matrix is a huge gap on the prevention side. So while Andrea is going to be doing very important work and Shamila dealing with those after the fact who've been identified as criminal suspects, we've got to do the important work of identifying corruption proactively at an early stage. The dominant thinking, if you look at the proposals that are being floated, is that what we need is in fact a magic bullet, one huge anti-corruption agency, collapse the MPA into this new agency to focus, to incorporate powers of investigation, prosecution, even policing powers, and to focus on criminal law enforcement after the fact. It leaves out of our anti-corruption efforts behavior change, public education, public involvement, prevention, and so forth and so forth. We need to fill that gap, and we need to fill that gap in a realistic, feasible way as part of our current institutional matrix. So our proposals don't interfere with the powers of the DPCI that's beginning to do really important work. We're building on what the SIU is currently achieving, and we're seeking to strengthen the work that Andrea and Shamila are doing on the prosecution side.
My independence becomes a true reflection of what I do through public-private partnerships and collaboration. I need society. I need the people that I serve to not just believe, but to stop doing the wrong they're doing so that I can do what I do much easier. Of course, independence in the ID means I now have the powers. But I would like independence for the NPA because that's my mother body. We don't have independence of budget because the DG is our accounting officer.
With development comes crime. With development comes crime. And as you continue to develop, there are more opportunities for crime. And of course, there's always a lot of innovation in the criminal networks. So we need to understand corruption in that context. We have a lot of development going on. Fast forward 30 years later, we have obviously the perils of what we are facing in terms of corruption. One of the most important things we need to focus on as a country is e-government services and digitalization. Because as you digitalize, you eliminate too much human contact and you reduce the opportunities for bribery, physical bribery. It won't go away completely, and that's why I use the word reduce. And so if you digitalize, You can use a lot of artificial intelligence and data analytics. When you use data analytics, what you're able to do is then to work out where the corruption is coming endemically in the system, red flag it and deal with it.